And we are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the next episode for the St. Clair and Romero Show. I am Dominic St. Clair,
I'm Eduardo Romero.
and we are going to be talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, the so potential horror anthology that was supposed to be made from the epic John Carpenter, but unfortunately it didn't happen. We'll talk about that in this episode a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to discuss our top three, as always. So, our top three, Eduardo picked it out.
Yeah, our top three this week is original scores. That's all the original music made for any movie, or any movie. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, let's go.
I think I don't know. I might have the first one I'm going to talk the mention. You might have picked it already. I have a
Okay.
feeling.
Uh huh.
But that's okay because I feel like we can still talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the
We'll talk
movie
about
there.
it. Uh huh.
Okay, so number one I picked is the Terminator.
No, I don't have it, but
Okay, okay. I just
but that was on my mind, man.
yeah. The I think John Cameron, James Cameron, did he make that score?
I'm
I
not
think he
sure.
did. I don't know who made it, but that's a really good score.
It's a legendary fucking theme, dude. Da
Yeah.
da 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 da. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Yeah, dude. No, that's a damn good pick. I only know the version of it in Terminator 2. Is it more like slashery, synthy in Terminator 1?
No, it's almost the same. It's very it's darker, but it's still the same.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not slashery or anything like. Even though the movie is, it's a slasher mixed with sci-fi
Yeah.
horror. But yeah, it's still the same theme. You know,
Cool, cool.
Obviously they elevated over the years, adding little like remixes to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm
Um,
sure.
the re so yeah, that's it's just so good. It's like one of those epic things, right?
Yeah.
It's like an epic theme that gets you hooked into it. It always and it's good to always play in the opening credits because it definitely hooks you in as an audience and it makes you like, oh yeah, here we go, da. And
Yeah.
it's just a cool badass theme.
I think you're right. I think what's really good about it, is at least in the T2 version, is that the drums sound really metallic, you know?
Mhm.
It's got that ring like you're knocking on a keg or something, like your Slipknot.
Yeah.
So it's got that sort of like resonant machine like sound, but also you have the da 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 da, which is just like this really like melodic sort of phrase and all that. So you sort of have this machine rhythm and this human melody, and it's sort of like these two things like playing together into, so at least that's the way like I interpret it in my ear when I watch it. But yeah, dude, that's a great pick, definitely.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my number three is Hans Zimmer's score of. And by the way, no, that wasn't on my list, but actually, I think I already said that. My bad.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So my number three pick is Hans Zimmer's score for The Lion King, the 1994 Lion King. I'm not much of a Disney guy, you know, but The Lion King just has the best music. Like, I love it. Like it's catchy as hell. I have the soundtrack on vinyl or like in my hipster closet somewhere, you know. But yeah, dude, like I'm a big fan of Hans Zimmer's score. Like it's really it's really like creative. It's fun. Like all the Elton John music is really good for it too. I think it's really memorably animated, especially like both Be Prepared with the Nazi imagery and the sort of abstract, colorful, like celebratory vibe of I Can't Wait to Be King. The epic fucking opening, with the Circle of Life song. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many. great moments, both visual and musical in the Lion King, and the majority of that is Hans Zimmer's score. What do you think about the Lion King score?
Yeah, it's a good score, especially for Disney concern. I know Disney has a lot of scores and a lot of songs in their library when it comes to their films. Aladdin is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Uh, and what else? Just a bunch of other ones. Just when it comes to the scores, they're really good at doing that. But yeah, Lion King is a good one because I feel like that one is like it just seems more cooler,
Uh huh.
whereas Aladdin's more like cute,
Yeah.
and like funny, but like this one is like more cooler, it's like yeah, like this is awesome,
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah, no, that's a good score for sure. One of
Yeah.
the
Well, I
best.
mean, Hans Zimmer is a more he's not like a musical guy or like an animation guy or whatever like Disney had. Like Hans Zimmer, he was a serious composer of like a lot of like mature dramatic movies, and he sort of brought that sort of maturity, that sort of what's the word I'm looking for here, gravitas, which is just another word, I guess, a fancy word for like dramatic bullshit. Yeah, so like, yeah, his score definitely brings like a certain vibe, a certain majesty that I think is the reason why the Lion King sticks out so much. Because like I said, I'm really not much of a Disney animation guy, but I fucking love me some Lion King, dude. I'm always down to watch the Lion King. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. Like, let's fucking go. You know,
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
right on, man.
All right, so my number two is the original Halloween, John Carpenter score. Uh, how can I even say, like, this is just one of the greatest scores I feel like in film history.
It's iconic.
Because he did almost everything right in that in
Yeah.
that first one, and one of his best parts in that film, besides directing, producing, is his score.
Uh
He,
huh.
he did really well on that score. It's just the it's like creepy, but it's like also like tense, I guess, at the same time.
Uh huh.
It's just I don't know how do you say it? It's like well no, it's like dun 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 dun, but it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fast. It's just and it's a catchy tune. It's really
yeah.
it's really catchy. So oh yeah, here you go.
It's super simple, dude. I
Yeah,
could teach you how to play that like in 5 minutes, bro.
yeah, but it's cool though, right?
Yeah.
It's a good catchy tune, and of course also with the bass with it.
Dun dun dun. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good one. Um,
definitely.
yeah, it's a catchy tune. It's iconic for the franchise, and they use it all the time. Sometimes, like I said, just like with Terminator, they always update it.
Hmm.
They always do little remixes to it, but the original is like a classic. So
Right.
yeah, that's my number two.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we're going to talk about a John Carpenter score this episode. So I, just to sort of, I guess, foreshadow a little bit here. Like, one of the things that's really cool about John Carpenter is that he's not a very technical, super like flashy musician. His shit is relatively simple, but like, he keeps it simple, and when you keep it simple, it's memorable. Like, everybody knows that, like, the songs that you spend years of your life trying to protect, nobody gives a shit about, but that song that you shout out when you were high, like in 10 minutes, everybody like loves instantly. That's every
Yeah,
musician knows that fucking event, dude. So yeah, I mean, John Carpenter is he's really good. Yeah, he's really good at crafting these simple, memorable, and really effective atmospheric scores. And like you said, dude, that shit is just that like da 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 da
Mhm.
and the bass. And I mean, at least in the original, that's all you need, you know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and I think it's your turn, right? Number two.
Yeah, yeah. So my number two is get ready to drink here, Dom. All right, you ready? This should be of no surprise. My number two is The Lost World Jurassic Park. Cheers, mate. Okay, so I know this sounds like sacrilege to a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. The score for the first Jurassic Park movie is a classic, it's brilliant. It's super memorable. I could play it on guitar right now if I wanted to, but I don't want to show off like that. It's a dope ass score. But what I love about the Lost World score more than I love about fucking Jurassic Park is that the Lost World is more of a horror movie. It's more
Yeah,
intense, And what I love about it is that it takes place in the middle of a jungle, essentially, and the score kind of reflects that jungle motif with like really percussive jungle sounds and all that. Um, and it's one of the best parts of the movie because it kind of gives it its own unique identity separate from the original movie. Like the original movie has its dark, scary, intense moments, but it's mostly like kid friendly horror and all that,
yeah.
And in Jurassic, in the Lost World, it's a lot more, like I said, more intense than that. So yeah, what do you think about the Lost World?
The soundtrack is good. Yeah, it's a good soundtrack, and especially with the movie itself, it's definitely horror, like monster movie type
Yeah,
of feel to it. So that element of that soundtrack helps a lot with it. Especially those tense scenes, like the raptor scene when they're in the tall grass,
yeah,
it those fit really perfectly. The chase scenes with the T Rex, the scene with the two T Rex and the guy in the truck, like that
yeah.
stuff, like in the trailer, like yeah, it's a perfect soundtrack theme that fits the tone very well, and
Agreed,
definitely
agreed.
brings in some good stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies out
Yeah,
of
dude, right?
yeah,
Isn't the Lost World hella underrated?
it is underrated, and not a lot of people talk about it. I know a lot of people say Jurassic Park 3 is not their favorite, but my favorite is The Lost World. Out of the three, or out of the movies so far, it's one of the, I think it's the second best to the
Uh
original.
I think for the
But
longest
Fallen Kingdom, yeah. Fallen
yeah,
Kingdom.
yeah. So for the longest time, my number two was the Lost World. The Fallen Kingdom is actually my number two now, and the Lost World has become my number three.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So what were you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you saying before that?
I was just saying that it was probably it was my second best,
Uh huh.
um, because Jurassic Park is first, and then The Lost World. But seeing Fallen Kingdom, like I'm like, okay, it's a tough one because they're both
Yeah.
like on the edge. I had to see Jurassic World Dominion to decide the fate of
Two,
the number two.
dude. Two more weeks.
Yeah, 10 more
Two
weeks.
more weeks, bro. It's gonna
It's
be
strange.
sick.
Also, Stranger Things season 4 on Netflix. Saving
I
it.
kind of checked out after season three, man. I wasn't a big fan of season three. I canceled my Netflix already, anyways.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's
but I
cool.
hope you like it.
I like the seasons, all the seasons. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it. It was fun.
I think season two was pretty solid, but it should have been a one season show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So my number three is, it was a tough one because I
Okay,
was like, this is it this or is it this? Because it's crazy. The thing, the original thing,
okay,
soundtrack, because it's because it like the other film I was gonna pick was Alien, the original
uh-huh.
Alien.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
that
yeah,
that like that one, but for some reason the thing, like that one beat it because of just just that song. It's just the way it sounds
Uh-huh.
is way more like from
Oh
Alien.
no,
It's
yeah,
creepy.
definitely.
Like it's a
Yeah.
creepy one, but like I feel like the thing was um definitely it's one of those cool soundtracks, right? That's what
Yeah.
it feels like to me. So it's like do 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 ooh, like it's a cool like little like soundtrack.
You know, I love the thing, but I never really paid too much attention to the soundtrack. If I got to be totally real here.
Yeah, no, you should check it the soundtrack on YouTube because it's a good one. I like it.
Right
That's
on.
why I picked it over for Alien the original.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but yeah, that's why I like it, and that's my number three.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We need to we need to agree if we're counting up or counting down because I count 3 to 1, you count 1 to 3.
Okay, yeah,
We'll
but
figure it out. We'll figure it out next episode. We'll figure it out next episode. Okay, so my number one pick, my favorite, is going for 2 weeks in a row in the number one spot. Beast of the Southern Wild. I love that this score for this movie so goddamn much. It's something that I like to have on in the background when I'm writing. It's something that I listen to on its own a lot. You know, the music never fails to like give me chills. Like the main theme is so fucking like epic and shit like that. And I love that sort of like lo-fi folk instrumentation that they have. And yeah, it's right up my alley, man. And yeah, Beast of the Southern Wild, totally number one.
yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah, that's all I gotta say about that one.
Oh, okay, right on. So you want to go ahead and tell us what our number three is for next week?
Yes.
I mean, our
Oh,
top three.
yeah. Number three for next week is top three. This is a tough one to choose because, like I
Okay.
said, there's two things I was gonna choose, or one of the two I was gonna choose. But this one is uh, top three screenplays. So
Screenplays, just the
yeah,
writing.
yeah,
Okay, interesting. That's gonna be a fun list.
yeah. I thought it'd be a little different, because we talked about films and like stuff like the soundtrack. So like I thought screenplays. So like different elements of film that
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, like sometimes a good screenplay leads to a bad movie, and
yeah.
sometimes a bad screenplay can make a brilliant movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, great pick for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, plugs.
Yes, let's do plugs.
All right, let's do our plugs here. Good, you want to go first?
Uh, yeah, I'll go first. So I have a YouTube called HT, all caps. I just do gameplay, videos and stream games and all that stuff. It's pretty much a gaming channel, nothing too crazy. And of course, I got this channel. We do our podcast, and I'll upload like fan films and short films on here when they get made. And that's it. Yeah, for me. And yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. uh, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and link to this. So if for anybody who wants to see this, this is gonna be in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug once again my homeboy Nathan Vega's LuxmoreBroadcast.com. He's also known as Luxmore Broadcast on YouTube and at Filthy Luxmore on Instagram. Luxmore Broadcast is spelled LuxmoreBroadcast.com. Again, Nathan is an incredibly talented guy. I helped him make his last short film, and right now he's working on a new movie called Killing Charlene, which sounds really intense, really fun, really cool, really interesting. On top of that, I would also like to plug Machine Hunter IRL, my Horizon, Forbidden West, Zero Dawn, Frozen Wilds, and hopefully Call of the Mountain, because apparently that's going to have a little bit more of a reveal next week. I can't fucking wait for that. The PSVR game that they're going to make on the Horizon. Okay, I don't want to geek out too much here. I should save it for the Machine Hunter channel. But as y'all can clearly see, I'm a big fan of this series. If you guys want to see me just geek out like a fucking child while I play this fucking game on live streams, along with the right now I'm working on a tier list video, which hopefully I'll have out by Tuesday. Um, and yeah, dude, like Machine Hunter IRL is not only going to be my channel it's mainly going to be focused on the Horizon games, but I'm also, as I've told you Don plenty of times here, I'm going to be live streaming a replay of The Last of Us Part 2, which is a game that I actually already covered on my Pop Counterculture channel. I did a 2 episode series called The Cast of Us, where me and Chris Avila, the main actor of my last movie, Unaired Pilot, which is also on my Pop Counterculture channel. Yeah, we reviewed both The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2. I hated it. I have nothing but bad memory, like nothing but bad feelings towards it. But I'm willing to give it another chance to see if I like it a little more this time around. So that series is going to be starting pretty soon on the Machine Hunter IRL channel as soon as I clear up a couple other projects. On top of that, like I said, my pop counterculture channel, which not only has my a bunch of my short films, but a bunch of video essays as well, and my music, which is under Eddie Los Guardos on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and all major music providers. That's it as far as my. Oh yeah. Well, okay. Never mind. I'll touch upon that later. But yeah, that's all my plugs for this week.
Cool. Yeah. So, should we get into the review or what do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's get
All right.
into let's get into Halloween 3.
All right. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. The night no one comes home. That's the tagline.
Okay.
Instead of Michael, who was like, the night he came home, it's the night no one comes home.
All right.
So, also first, so, so this is, of course, does this movie's not about Michael Myers. It's about a company that makes masks, and something is going on. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Like something's happening in that factory with the masks, and there's this doctor who has to investigate and find out what's going on, and hopefully put a stop to a huge problem
Uh-huh.
that's happening. And I enjoyed this movie. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies
Okay.
because just how cool it was. I like that Michael wasn't in it because I felt like if we kept going with Michael, it would get a little either boring or it would just run out of ideas. So I thought,
Which it
like,
did.
yeah, that's what that's what happened. So after 3, they were like, "Oh, let's go back to Michael," and then they continued with Michael after that, and they ran out of ideas. And, yeah, we all know what happened, but yeah, this one's a cool one because it's a different story. Takes place in California. Doesn't take place in Illinois. It's a new cast of characters. Yeah, it's I liked it. It was a cool movie. It's fun, tense. It's definitely a thriller type of movie.
Uh,
Uh, the villain's cool, and the whole like film, like the whole story, itself is pretty unique and interesting
uh-huh.
for a horror film.
Yeah. Um I think this is a very different movie. Definitely not what I was expecting it to be. I think it's I admire this movie. I think there's definitely a lot of creativity here, or at least what I'm gonna give the movie credit for being creativity, but could easily just be budgetary issues. Um I didn't dig this one too much, to be totally honest with you, man. There's stuff I appreciated about it, but like you said, it's a mystery, and at first the mystery is pretty interesting, but the problem is that like it really kind of feels like in a good mystery movie, you follow the characters as they uncover this plot, the mystery of the center of the movie. And what makes it rewarding is that you're there with them as they work towards this mystery. And the best parts of the movie for me was the parts of the movie where you saw the guy and the girl, trying to figure out what's happening. unfortunately, this movie commits a movie something that a big issue for me, something that I don't like, which is the big reveal. All the big reveals are just kind of done in one long exposition dump. You know, just like a long series of scenes that just kind of tell the audience everything that's going on all at once.
Mhm.
And the worst part about it is that yeah, like all that really happens is that the main characters who at one point were figuring out stuff, putting clues together on their own, they just kind of happen to go on a tour. Because they
Yeah,
happen to be at the right place at the right time, and then everything gets revealed, and that just kind of really deflated a lot of the fun for me. But at least I will say this: the first half of the movie, the part where before the big exposition dump, it was a solid movie. I was enjoying it, and there's one thing that I really will say that I wasn't expecting is if this movie has one thing in common with Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, is that the music is doing a lot of heavy lifting here because this movie goes a lot. I actually wrote it down right here. The first line, the first spoken line of the movie. You know what? You know how long it takes for that first spoken line to come in?
like 5 minutes. No, no.
9 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
9
that's right.
minutes
Because
and
like it's they had the intro where they carved the pumpkin digitally, and
yeah,
then after that you got this whole like chase scene,
yeah.
and then like he gets to the gas station and there was still no dialogue. Oh, actually, you know what? The TV. That's when the first line.
But I don't count the TV because that's not dialogue. That's just like
Okay.
background noise.
Okay.
And at first you don't realize how important that is. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's not until you see it over and over again.
Yeah. It's I didn't notice that. I was like, oh, okay. you
Yeah,
know, the movie was going on, but I thought it was interesting the way. I think it's a good way to start out because you don't know what's happening, right? If you haven't seen the
yeah,
movie, you don't know what's happening. You just see this guy running, and then these guys are chasing him, and you don't know who these guys are. You don't know who this guy is, and it's all part of the mystery, right? It's all
right,
part of building this mystery up and trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle of what's going on. And so it's good to not know like certain things. You don't have to have people tell you things in order to figure out, what's happening.
right.
That goes along with it. And I agree. I don't like what they did there with the whole exposition, but it's I like the motivate. I thought the motivation was cool.
No, yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like this movie was like a waste of time. It wasn't. It had its, especially early on. Like, I actually really enjoyed. Like I said, the first half of this movie, just solid, like 7 out of 10 for me. You know, but then like by the end of it, I was like more like at a 5. You know, it declined that much, but I did enjoy the initial setup. You know, I kind of like the chemistry between the doctor and the daughter, and all that shit. So that was cool, and at least the deaths, the early deaths were pretty creative with the laser in
Oh
that ship.
yeah, the malfunction, like he
Yeah, with the mouth.
goes in her mouth,
That
and
was
she's
it.
like, and her mouth's all messed up, and her eyes are all red. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the bug comes out. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
yeah.
the
The only thing
effects
that
are good in this. Yeah.
yeah, the thing that really subverted my expectations though is that in the slasher movie, you tend to see more female nudity than you see male nudity, you know, but you get to see the dude's whole butt, and you don't even get to see none of the girl. And to me, that's not cool, you know? Like I get it, it's not a slasher movie, but you gotta give us something.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Actually, you know what? There's one thing that I did enjoy about the movie. It wasn't a slasher movie. It was a actual horror story. You
Yeah.
know, like you can even see it. You can even see it on paper. You know, like 8 days before Halloween on a dark night. Uh, old man runs into the hospital after running from a immortal leprechaun. You know, like you can see it written down, and he dies mysteriously hours later by a man who blows himself up in the parking lot. You know, like the initial setup is legit, dude. Like I
Yeah.
was like, okay, all right, cool. Like slow start, but I like the initial like thing that we had to draw us in with.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. It was originally supposed to be an anthology Halloween franchise where
Uh
it's
huh.
like every story is a Halloween story, so it's different tales of Halloween. And they're not all like slashers, they're all like different types of horror. So like witchcraft, there's like they were gonna make like a monster one, like a
Uh huh.
monster Halloween film. Um,
Okay.
so it's yeah, they were gonna do like a whole anthology franchise, but then of course it didn't do well, and everyone was complaining where Michael Myers was, and
Oh, Michael
yeah,
Myers is in this movie.
he is in this movie, but it's
Yeah,
just he's not um, a major part in the story, I
he's
guess you
in the
can say.
background.
Yeah, he's in the background.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, dude. So let's go ahead and talk about the setup here because, like I said, I like the initial parts of it. A part that I really enjoyed was, I love it when horror movies take like a road trip to like a creepy little small town. That was actually shot in Northern California, about 45 miles south of Eureka, California, which is almost to Oregon,
Yeah.
in a town called Laloda, California. And apparently, if you go there, a lot of the buildings they still look the same. They're still up and running and shit,
Hmm.
including the factory, the toy factory, the gas station. I think the little hotel things are still up and shit like that. So yeah, it's they actually shot at some real locations and just kind of redressed them and shit like that. Um,
Yeah.
so kind of speaking of the town, like I like the fact that it was a factory town and like they had like a curfew and shit like that. Like that really added to like I said, like it's really the second half that bothers me. Like the first half is really atmospheric, really fun, entertaining and shit like that, you know? So yeah. So go ahead and talk to me more about like what you enjoy about this movie, at least the first half of it.
Yeah, in the first half, you got these android guys, you know, going out like taking some people out so they don't spread information about the big plot of the movie, and
Uh-huh.
the kills were amazing. The effects, were cool. The how do you say it? Oh yeah, the town. Yeah, like you said, it's a factory town. You got people that are, I think they're fully aware what's going on, so they just keep their mouth shut and they don't say anything.
Yeah.
Uh, and and there's also the android robots. There's just, I guess you can say they're androids. They're androids just standing around watching everybody and watching Dr. Chalice, the main character, and the guy's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
uh, driving around and looking around and just saying what's up. And you meet these other characters in the film, and yeah, there's interesting, different types of characters, that uh, are cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. One is a rich family with like a shitty kid,
yeah,
and the other is this toy shop owner from San Francisco who's a lot more upbeat and all that. And for a minute, I thought she was hitting on the girl there for a second. 'Cause she was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, you come by and see me."
Yeah,
No,
dude.
that part. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, her, and then you got the homeless guy.
Yeah.
That he's part of the town, because the other two we mentioned, they're not part of the town. They're just stopping by,
Mm-hmm.
just like Chalice and the girlfriend, or the guy's um, daughter. So he actually lives in the town, and he's like homeless, I guess.
Uh huh.
And like, he's not Irish or anything like that. He's just one of those people that also keeps his mouth shut, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not really favorable to the villain in his group of people. So I thought he was pretty interesting. Definitely, like when he's on screen, he gives it his all. I can
Yeah.
tell. So yeah, he's a cool character too. The androids, they're actually pretty creepy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like those shots where they're just standing there with their gloves on and like their suit. It's very it just I don't know. It feels Michael Myers, right?
I can
Feels a
see
little
that. Yeah, I can
yeah.
totally see that.
It's like there's just some similarities to Michael when they just stand there in dark alleys and stuff. So yeah, I definitely and like there's like a shot where they're like in a row, like there's four of them in a row, and they're just
Yeah.
staring at the characters, and they just start walking like a robot as they are. Those scenes are cool too. Like I like those ones.
Yeah, no, this movie definitely has its moments and all that. What else? What else? Man, that's all I can really think about to say. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the non-spoiler section?
No, no. Let's head into spoilers because I have a lot to talk about
Let's
in the
do it.
spoilers, man.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're going into spoilers in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't seen Halloween 3, then y'all need to get the fuck out because we're about to spoil the shit out of it. All right, Dom, what you want to say about Halloween 3?
I want to say that I I want to say I like the villain of this one.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a cool villain, and his name's Cochran.
Cochran. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to mention that line he gives to Doctor Chalice
Uh huh.
when he puts the mask on him. And he's over the TV. He's like, "Back in our cultic lands," and like he goes into that dialogue, and that it's his explanation, his motivation, right?
Uh huh.
And he's explaining, and he's talking about the original Halloween, not the Halloween we all know,
Yeah.
like where we go out, trick or treating with candy. He's talking about the Samhain Halloween that took place years and years ago,
Uh huh.
or at the time, yeah, years and years ago, in Ireland. And talking about how they sacrifice children and animals, and that's why he's going to kill all the children because he's sacrificing them for the other world. That's not that's not their world. It's the other world, which is hell or something like that.
Uh huh.
And it's all witchcraft because he gets stone hinges and he uses them to put things in the chips in the back of the mask. So then
Yeah.
when what you call it, the commercial plays, they start getting killed by it, and like bugs come out, snakes come out, pretty much just witchcraft stuff, like old school witchcraft, where like
Yeah.
they get get killed in a way. And I gotta say that scene where the pumpkin, when he's wearing the pumpkin
Yeah.
suit, and like his the pumpkin was melting and then falls down, he's dead, but like all these bugs come out, this snake comes out, like it's a cool, fascinating like tale of witchcraft and how
Yeah. It's
bring into the modern world. Even though it's called Season of the Witch, and there's
yeah.
not really a witch in it, like, but except for the mask, like there's a
Yeah.
mask of the witch, but like I think it's the reason why it's called is because of the witchcraft, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
and that's
I mean, I'm
why,
about to say. I mean, Cochran is kind of basically a witch.
yeah. Yeah, yes. I thought I was gonna say a sorcerer, but no, yeah, he's a witch, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. He's black.
Yeah.
He's this movie's Black Phillip.
Yeah, yeah, and let's talk about the ending, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say that ending was awesome because it's one of those ambiguous endings. I
Uh
love
huh.
ambiguous endings. I love
Yeah.
when they leave you on a cliffhanger and not knowing what's going on at the end, or what happens after, and like the fact that he's on the phone trying to convince the operator to turn off all the TVs or turn off all the programs, and the last one's playing, and this song turning off. She's like, "Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And he looks at the camera, and it cuts.
Yeah.
And they're like, did he stop it, or all the children dying?" Like
Yeah.
that's just something. Like it's like as the credits roll, it's like, oh, what's happened?
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's why it didn't work for me. Like, so the plan if the movie like was focused just in like the Northern California area, right? Like if all this was happening just even if it was just all like like yeah, let's just say it was all happening between Modesto and Eureka or whatever, right? Be generous here. Um, if it was only happening there, I would be able to believe the plan. Like I would be able to believe that this is an actual threat. This is something that could happen, or something that's a real danger, right?
Yeah.
But then the movie says that they're gonna be like happening all over the United States and shit like that, you know? And I hate to be this guy because this is not the kind of movie that asks for this kind of logic, you know? But I think by making it a story that takes place over 4 time zones, like, oh yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog
Yeah.
over there. Hi, Daria.
Ugh.
Daria, who's a good dog? She's like, what the fuck are you doing, Dad? Stop embarrassing me, gosh. Anyways, so yeah, like if when it takes place over 4 time zones, I can't help but think like it can't work because like New York is gonna figure it out before it even hits like the Midwest, like before it hits like the next sound, like whatever mountain zone over. You know, like it was just like it's not gonna work if you go that big because like they keep saying it's gonna happen at 9 o'clock on each of the coasts of each of the time zones. That means there's gonna be an hour between each 9 o'clock all over the United States. Like,
Oh, that's right because of the time zones and like how
yeah,
one state
exactly.
one
It's
state like across like in the East Coast, New York, and then of course it's like how many hours? Like 4 hours ahead
yeah,
of
for
Los Angeles,
an hour each time
the
zone.
West Coast. Yeah. So like they'll figure it out first, and then they'll immediately tell the West Coast like, "Hey, turn it off. Don't play it." I guess I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I mean, and look, and if it took place, if all that shit was happening just like in like Northern California, right? Like if it was just happening there, that would be totally believable. Cause yeah, like if it's all happening at 9 o'clock at the same time, then everybody's fucked because nobody's gonna see it coming. Nobody's gonna be able to stop it. But if
Yeah.
it takes place all over the country, then yeah, like it was hard to suspend my disbelief, you know. So like by the end, all I could keep thinking was like, I mean, you're not gonna stop New York, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it felt futile. And you thought it was ambiguous. To me, it was clearly like a very dark ending because, like in my head, even if he stopped California, he wasn't gonna stop like the rest of the country, even by this own movie's logic. You know?
Yeah. You know what? That actually makes sense. Actually, I believe your theory
Uh huh.
on it because if that's were the case, then it makes sense that in Halloween 4, if Halloween was a movie in Halloween 3,
Uh
that means the rest of the Halloween movies was is a movie, right? In that season the witch universe.
huh.
So in
Okay,
Halloween
that's true.
so in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, so Michael Myers is in that movie, it takes place after Halloween 2,
Okay.
then that means that the broadcast got stopped like all over the place. So that
Yeah.
means like not everybody didn't die. So therefore they can still make movies, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I think
like
I'm
they
following. Yeah.
so I get but like you're saying if that was the case then that would make sense because if they made a Halloween 4 as a movie then it makes sense because they stopped it in time or something like that or
Right.
they
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just I just because thinking about it, I know a lot of people like they're like, oh, like Michael Myers like in it, but like it's just I find it cooler to have it as like a different story that's not related to Michael, and the fact that it's a movie, Halloween's a movie in
Uh
that
huh.
movie. I thought that was cool and
Yeah, that
unique,
was a
and
fun little detail.
yeah, yeah, and there's a theory going around. And
Okay, let's hear it.
for Halloween ends right.
Okay.
There's one theory. There's a bunch of theories, but there's this one theory that stood out to me, and it's a theory that at the end of Halloween ends when
Oh,
Mike.
okay. Wait, hold on. Are you talking about
Oh
the new Halloween movies?
yeah, the new one.
Ah, I haven't seen. I want to see them. No spoilers.
No. It won't spoil the movies, the whole movies of the movies. It,
I'd rather go in blind, man.
oh,
Sorry.
okay. I, ah, it's a good
Okay.
theory.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Let's see those movies and then we'll talk about those series, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Well. Okay. So the second half to me was like I hate to say this, but I think this movie's a little bit too long. It's almost an hour 50. And to me, I think this movie could have easily like just been it could have been like an hour and a half very easily
Yeah.
because like again, first half is pretty solid because it's an actual movie where like each scene is like moving the plot forward. The second half is just like a really long and drawn out escape sequence, you know? And it just kind of feels like each scene goes on a little bit too long. And you know, again, John Carpenter's score is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, because there's not really a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of character development. It's just sort of like a guy racing against the time by himself with no one to work off of as a character or as an actor, even. You know, to stop this plan and shit. I will say the climax is cool. Like when he does destroy the station is pretty sick, cool
Yeah.
sequence. But man, that whole block where it's just like him escaping to like him getting out, like it's just like, dude, like get on with it, you know?
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I agree. It's like especially that part where he gets captured.
Yeah.
Like after he kills that android, he just like gives up, I guess, and like they're like, yes, that was the useless android, but we'll get a better one. And then he starts like taking him on a tour, showing the Stonehenge, showing the TVs, and like just explaining what his plan is,
Yeah.
and it was drawn out a little bit, and I felt like everything was handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they should have just kept it where it's like instead of handing to him, having to figure it out by himself, and end up like in that because that way it will be like not just to him but to also to the audience like oh shit it's this is what it is, this is what it's about this whole
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
They're trying to kill the children and this is how they're doing it and this is what they're going to do, and I'm like oh okay that's cool. Like when you go along and figure it out on your own, it adds to the
To the
film.
ride. Yeah, to the
Yeah.
fun. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, again, like it's not a movie without merit. It's just like it could have been a lot shorter. The plan's a little hard to believe. And like it would have been one thing like if the plan was hard to believe, but if it was doled out until the climax of the movie and then we were able to put everything together, cuz the thing is when you reveal that plan halfway through the movie, then you have like a whole like 50 minutes to think about it. If you
Mhm.
would have worked it out and structured the mystery better, and then boom, had the reveal at the climax of the movie, like in the middle of Act Three, you're only going to have like 10 minutes to think about it. And if you do a good job, you'll be caught up in them having just learned this mystery, having to deal with the consequences. In like those 20 minutes, you wouldn't even think about that shit. There's a way to make this movie work, you
Yeah.
know? It's just either through lack of creativity, lack of budget, or whatever. It really just kind of feels like a half of a really good mystery, a big exposition dump, and then just a big old drawn out fucking short film, man, or a silent movie almost.
Yeah. Yeah, and also there's some scenes where they can use that properly. Like for example, the lady that works at the hospital and
Uh
she's
huh.
communicating between her and Chalice.
I like that character, by the way. She was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, she's a cool character, and she's starting to figure out why, or she's starting to figure out the the
The
robot,
big,
right?
yeah,
The guy's like a robot, and like that could have been that could have been towards third act too, right?
yeah,
Like figure out oh like these guys are robots, oh they're this is what their plan is, and like she that could have been the third act, that scene where she looks at it and she's like oh shit, and then that's when she calls the cops and I'm like
yeah.
wait what did she figure out, and then that's when she gets killed, and then you're like, wait, what happened? Wait, what did she find out? And then that's when Dr. Chalice, like, you know he can still like punch the guy, and like,
Yeah.
you know you go right through him, and like he starts bleeding, but like, it's like orange. Like, wait, what? You figure out they're robots by that time,
Right.
instead of like the second act. You know,
Yeah.
so it was
No,
really.
no, I agree. It's really surprising to me. It's really surprising to me that this movie was written and directed by the same guy. Because like usually when you have a guy directing his own script, that dude has like probably spent years thinking this motherfucker out, like restructuring it. At least this is how I work. Maybe it's just me, but I take a long time thinking about a story before I ever write it. And I'm pretty sure the majority of people who write and direct their own stuff are the same way. And so you do it because you want to make the best movie you can. And if you know you're going to direct that movie, and you can also write it, then you can just make that shit as best, so easy for you to make an incredible movie by like writing it really fucking well. To me, the sort of mistakes this movie makes on the script level are the kind of mistakes that you see in a movie where the director and the writer are at odds with the thing, or when the writer just kind of half-assed the script because it didn't pay enough, he didn't like the project, or who knows why, you know because the direction is fine. Actually, there's one thing I can say is that it's a pretty decently directed movie, from beginning to end. It's effective, like it's creepy, it's atmospheric. I like the set design of the villain. It's very like very James Bondy, like scientists in the background, like, yes, James Bond, we will take the children's lives and make them spit out snakes. By the way, let's talk about that for a minute. Like that's such a weird thing to, like, to be afraid of, right? It's one thing, like, the easy thing to do would have to have like made these kids turn into like little serial killers and all that. But what this movie does is that it makes them freak out while a mask kills them, and then when they're dead, magically snakes and bugs come out of the mask, as presumably the face and all that shit. It's such a weird fucking it's such a weird threat to be looming over the movie, you know? Like, and I think too that like the parents, like, when they're stuck in that room and they're doing the test of that shit, they just kind of stand there while their kid is dying. And then when the snakes are coming out of its mask, they're just kind of standing there like, oh fuck. You know? It was a weird scene, man. And it's a weird, I'll give it this. Really creative. I like the idea of it, but it's such an abstract and weird threat that I really didn't know how to feel about that. You know?
I think it would be more effective, yeah, if they were just trying to kill her. They turned to killers.
Yeah.
Like, if like this would have been more effective if they went that route. Instead of having Halloween as a movie, in that movie, those events actually happened, and they could connect it with Michael Myers,
Uh
right?
huh.
And have it where Michael Myers' mask is actually a silver shamrock mask.
Dude!
And in Silver Shamrock, that's their first test, right? And they flip the switch, and
Jesus.
then Michael starts killing people because he's the mask he's wearing, and
Dude,
therefore,
right there. Such a
yeah,
fucking improvement.
yeah,
So that's smart, dude. Yeah. There you fucking go. You have everything you need. The mask, of course, dude. You should go back in time and then tell the guy, psst, Michael Myers wears a mask too, right? Just saying.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, that's a good idea. That makes total sense. That would have been such a better movie.
yeah. Because like you can have it where like the whole movie, you don't see Michael Myers, you don't mention Michael Myers, right? The whole movie, you think it's a whole nother movie, but then by the end, you find out it's connected to Michael
Yeah.
because of the mask, right? and then you find out like, oh, this is how it's connected to Michael. This is why it's called Halloween 3, because this is a continuation of that story, but it's
Yeah.
just tell it differently, you
And
know.
dude, you could like have that compounding from movie to movie. You know, like each movie could be an anthology that tells a different chapter, like Shamrock, like novelties. You know, trying to like bring back evil and witchcraft and all of this shit. You know, eventually there's a fucking monster they unleash. Like, dude, what the fuck, Dom? This could have gone down such a different fucking path. You know, like but um, as fun as this is, it is kind of bad form to talk about the movie we wish it was than the movie we got. So let's talk a little bit about the movie we got. Yeah, man. So you do enjoy this movie a lot more than I do. So what do you enjoy about the second half?
What I enjoy is the whole um how I say it, the just the scenes with the androids and the Cochrane, and the whole like the malfunction on the chip, it like sprays at her face, and
Yeah.
like the reveal of her face like is all messed up, like her lips are like bent and like blood, and the effect was really good.
It is a
Those
really good
effects were
effect.
good.
Yeah.
And the part where the guy rips off his head, it like he takes it off slowly, and you see all the it's gory and
Yeah.
blood, like after before he falls over, the blood splits out one more time to show like it's spraying. Those scenes were cool. The I like the tour. I like that tour.
It was a
Not
good
not not
sequence.
not the one where they reveal
Mm-hmm.
the plan. I'm talking about the one where they show like the normal tour, where they show all the masks and stuff, right?
In and of itself, it's a good sequence.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, within the context of the greater movie, that's where the exposition dump starts, and it's just kind of like the first of like another. It's like one of two exposition dumps, back to back almost.
yeah, and that's just something that I felt like that was a good one, but yeah, it could be more better. Um, the what you call it? What was it? The Cochrane character.
Hmm.
Um, when he's on screen, he definitely steals the show in a way.
Yeah, he's
He's
a fun
definitely a good.
villain.
Yeah, he's a cool, yeah, fun villain, and uh, when when he's talking to characters, he has that nice like, you know, he has a cool voice, and also just him explaining certain things I don't mind, and he because he does it a certain way that's creepy and stuff. Like I said, the whole motivation for him to sacrifice children by doing the masking, like
Yeah.
him talking about the origins of Halloween, and like what Halloween really was about. It's about sacrificing and sacrificial or something like that,
Hmm.
and how like it was back in the days, and and also that one line that he says, that was a cool one, because I was like, yeah, that was great. The line where he says before he leaves, right after he gets his motivation to him,
Hmm.
he's about to leave, right, and he's like, oh, and happy Halloween. And he just walks away. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that's a good line. And you deliver it really good. Because I'm like, yeah, that's some villain shit right there. That's what villains be doing sometimes. They'll
He,
say
he
one more thing.
he's a mustache twirler, bro. He's a mustache twirler villain.
Yeah.
Oh, happy Halloween. The fucking lightning crashing and shit.
Yeah. How about that scene where they defeat him? Like he evaporates or something. Like, what do you think happened to him?
Gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. You wanna run that by me?
So what they do is like they grab all the chips of this Silver Shamrock mask,
Yeah,
and they go on top of the building, and they
yeah, and then
pour
they
it.
let it rain down.
Yeah, Larry
Yeah.
down. They kill all the engineers and the androids, and then but Cochrane's still alive, and he looks up, and this is what I loved. It's attention to detail. He looks up at them, and he claps slowly, and he smiles and smirks at them because the reason why I think he did that is because he knows that they're still fucked. Like he
Yeah.
knows that even though they did this, that he still won. You
Yeah.
know, but after that, oh, like something shoots out of the Stonehenge and shoots at him,
Mm-hmm.
and you see his face turning all white, and then he just disappears.
Yeah, it's
Something like
true.
that. I don't know what happened. Like
He
I don't know
he
what happened.
he went back to Stonehenge, bro.
He went back to
He's a
Ireland.
rock now.
Oh, he's a rock.
He's Dwayne the Rock Johnson, twist ending.
Oh shoot!
The Rock was one of the Stonehenge guys.
Oh,
Boom.
drop the mic.
Boom. You're welcome. Get woke.
Yeah, go fucking ending. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
oh my
dude.
god.
Okay,
Also, can we
yeah.
talk about how she turned into a robot?
Yeah, what was up with that?
Yeah. It was like, okay, like when we find out, like at the end, when she attacks him and she's a robot, I'm like, okay, when did that happen? Was that when they captured her?
Yeah.
Was that before?
And the worst part is that she's a robot. You never even get to see well, never mind. Never mind. I can't phrase it right. Keep going.
Like, yeah, no, I'm trying to say it's like when did she turn into a robot? Because
Yeah, yeah, I didn't get that either.
I remember. Now here's the thing: when you watch that scene where when they're in the bed with each other, and she's like on top of him, and then he says, "Well, aren't you tired?" And she's like, "No, no." And then he's like, "How old are you?" And she says, "Older than you think," or something like that.
Yeah.
And when I watched that scene, I was like, "Oh, maybe this was maybe she was a robot then." But then it's like, well, why did they capture her? Why did they, you know,
Because they wanted
capture?
the robot, they wanted their sex robot back, man.
but,
What?
but
What? Why else?
but why did she go to
You
her
know her
dad?
dad. You know her dad. That was the other sex robot. It's a whole. Rich people are weird, dude. Rich people are fucking weird. You know, they made a whole little sex robot family, and that's what's playing out. That's the real horror of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Man, oh, I didn't know that. That's the way of ruining it, and I don't know.
Now you know my pain.
You know, no, no. I just, yeah, no, I just found that really confusing. I was like, wait, what
Yeah, I
happened?
didn't get that either. Wow, we
But
really went down a path with that one, bro.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
you have you played the game Detroit Become Human?
I haven't. No,
Uh,
I'm not a big fan of those. I tried playing Heavy Rain. It wasn't for me, dude. And I hear David Cage just kind of does that over and over.
yeah, no, there is like sex robots in that game, and it's like okay, that reminded me of that game where like because like if she were to be a robot
Uh huh.
when she was with the doctor at the motel,
Yeah.
and they're like I'll be like, wait, how do you not tell that she's not human? Because
Yeah,
like there's certain wouldn't you like be touching her a certain way that you find like some sort of like
bro.
metal like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So in Fresno, we're just off the 99, just off, just off the Shaw exit on not 99 on the 140. Right. There's a Hustler store. It's a big old store, dude. It's a big old sex shop. All right. They got all the sex toys, all the sex toys you need to be to unleash your inner freak. Fucking follow your passions, like here at the Hustler store. So dude, so I went there. I went there for my friend and I were killing time before a concert one day. So we go there to the Hustler store, and I gotta say, dude, some of the shit they can do these days without just it's believable. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, oh wow, that's a real butt. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, at least it looks like one. Anyways, I took this shit down some weird lanes today, bro. No, but yeah, I could totally see the eventual rise of the sex robots. The question is, will we be prepared to fight back?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, like, what about those? What about the rapists or something like that? Like, you give them something that,
Won't someone please think of the rapists?
yeah, the reason why I brought that up because it's like, okay, you make these sex robots and then
Uh,
you give them what they want. He was like, they can have sex with them all they want without no consent or something like that. How do
yeah,
you
I don't
feel
know,
about
man. That's a weird. Yeah, that's a whole other level of shit right there.
it?
No, dude. Like, I guess it's better for rapists to be raping robots than to be raping like real people. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, it's a robot, right? Like, it doesn't have feelings, but if it looks like a human being and it's programmed to express human emotions, dude, I don't know, bro. We ain't talking about Blade Runner 2049 yet, all right, Dom? We'll
yeah,
just table this sex shit talk, this sex robot talk for like episode 40 something, okay?
all right.
Yeah, man. Look, dude, again, it just didn't work for me. The second half didn't work for me. It was a bit of a slog. And that's pretty much all I really got to say about this movie, dude.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool little horror film, horror story, um, about Halloween. Because and like Michael Myers, the original, if you look at it, like, yeah, it takes place on Halloween. There's a killer on the loose, but
Uh
like
huh.
this one really felt like it was about Halloween. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
can see
about
that.
this guy who came home at Halloween. It's about this evil mastermind who is obsessed with Halloween and has this whole ideology and this whole, relation to the old Halloween.
Yeah,
Uh, and so it's that this movie felt like it was about Halloween instead of, yeah, a guy running around.
yeah.
So,
No, I agree. Like, I guess my overall thoughts is I really appreciate the horror atmosphere of it. I like the fact that it is like an old timey horror story of like a mystery and shit like that. While the movie was a mystery, this was a solid 7 out of 10 for me. It's something I was enjoying. But yeah, dude, it's once the exposition dump hits, and then it's like a long drawn out escape, like 40, like it feel like a 40-minute escape sequence, man. This is way too long. And it's coming from a guy who likes sorcerer.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Yeah, it just kind of went on for way too long, and but it's not a movie devoid of merit. It just kind of falls apart once the big mystery is revealed, and that's like the most tragic outcome for any mystery movie or story. Misha and the Wolves on Netflix. It's another great example of a story that gets really lame once you understand the mystery.
yeah,
But that's another discussion for another day. Yeah, or probably not. It's not that good of a movie.
absolutely.
Thank you,
Uh,
Lindsay.
oh, thank you, thank you.
All
Yeah,
right. Okay,
yeah,
it was good to know.
yeah, yeah. Overall, yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought, yeah, it was a cool horror story, Halloween story. Fun. Yeah, I agree. I think they should have held the mystery for the first, second half, and even the beginning of the third half. Like towards the end, they should have
Yeah.
at least reveal or just make you or not make you give you enough details to understand what's happening.
Right.
I think there are movies that do that. Like they won't give you all the details. They'll just give you hints. They'll drop you hints here and there,
Yeah.
and so you can figure out yourself
Well, there
something.
is such there. Yeah, but there is such thing as too much ambiguity. You
Yeah,
know, like ambiguity is cool to a point.
yeah,
you know.
yeah. But yeah, that's my results on it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, dude. Are you ready to wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right. Cool. So, Dom has the pick for next week, which is top three screenplays. And I have the movie pick, and we're gonna get weird, bro. We're gonna get real weird. All right. We're
Mm.
gonna watch Nicolas Cage's Werner Herzog directed Nicolas Cage fucking masterpiece, bizarro fucking fest into right into fucking madness. We're watching Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of this one?
No, I have probably, but I thought you were gonna pick the Face Off one with John Travolta or something like that.
We'll run through De Palma some other time. Wait, is that De Palma?
I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
might be De Palma. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, yeah, dude. Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans. Get ready, audience, if you guys are watching along, because that is a weird fucking movie, and it's gonna be a fun conversation next week.
Yeah. All right, looking forward to it. Yep.
All
So
right, man.
thank you everyone for watching. This is a good episode, and we'll see you next time. And hope you have a great night, great
Take
day,
care,
whatever
everybody.
time zone you're watching from, and have a great day. Bye.
Have a good